Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Books and Beauty. My name is Tori. We're doing another book review here. First off, before I even go any further, I want to say viewer discretion is advised, reader discretion is advised. The name of this book is called From the Ashes. It is a part of the Darkwood Academy series. This is book one. It's by the author Lynn Rhys. I'm going to read the trigger warnings before I even read the synopsis. This is to let you know or let you decide whether you want to keep watching or if you even want to read or hear the synopsis. So let me just start there. This book ends in a cliffhanger and is part of a Why Choose series. Why Choose is reverse harem, so there's more than one love interest. Please be advised that this book contains strong subject matter that may not be suitable for all readers. This book contains scenes that may depict, mention, or discuss anxiety, blood, bullying, death, depression, emotional abuse, self-harm, slut-shaming, stalking, suicide, and violence. There is profanity and sexual situations. Reader discretion is advised. Emphasis on all of that. Do not take these triggers lightly. I'm dead ass serious. Do not take any of these triggers lightly because that first chapter is going to introduce you to something. So, yeah. Be prepared. Okay, now I'm going to read the synopsis. Dear Mom, why wasn't I enough? Why did you and Dad forget you had me to take care of and love? I miss you. Do you even know where I ended up? Let me tell you, at the gates of hell. And I wish I was being dramatic, but Darkwood Academy is just that, a literal hell for me. I'm constantly bullied and tormented by the students here, and they're relentless in their pursuit to get rid of me, all because they take directions from the kings of Darkwood. Yeah, I laugh too. Who calls themselves that? But Daxon, Mason, and Colton are three guys who have made it their mission to make my life hell. They run this school, and I seem to be in their way. Why not get everyone to gang up on me? I just wish you were here. I have no one to turn to, no one to talk to. You selfishly left me to live this life alone. And that's what I am, Mom, alone. I hope you're watching over me from above. I know I'm looking up to you because now more than ever, I need a guardian angel. Love, Phoenix. Okay. Let me just do my little review first and then we can discuss it really quickly. I'm gonna give this 4.5 stars. 4.5 stars for the plot, for the emotion that it evokes, for the fucking main character who's just whew. And there is spiciness in the book too. Spiciness, while it's there, is actually really great. But this book was so good. And like I said, it's a part of a series, so there's 3 books. Today is the 18th of December, and book 2 actually comes out in 2 days on the 20th, so I wanted to hurry up and do my video review for this. So I actually read this book twice. I finished rereading it a couple days ago. The first time I read this book, it cut me open. It was raw. It was, oof, baby, the tears, the dread, the anxiety, I don't know how to explain it. I had never connected connected with a character the way I connected with Phoenix in this book, and I feel like that's because I felt like I was holding her hand throughout the whole story. Whereas a lot of the times when I'm reading personally, I'm either reading it as though I'm the character or as though I'm just, you know, witnessing everything. But like with this story, I felt like I was right there standing next to Phoenix, holding her hand through everything, because all you wanted to do was hold her, hug her, comfort her, because that's literally all she needed. So it's like I felt like I was experiencing everything with her. And I can't remember the last time a book did me like that. Well, actually, no, yes, I can. So, Zodiac Academy. And that's a discussion for a whole nother day, because let me tell you, I relate to the character Tori so much in Zodiac Academy, it's almost frightening. But, yeah, no, like Phoenix just tore me up. Tore me up. So let's get into it. But yeah, my review, 4.5 out of 5. Go read it. It's amazing. I am going to devour book 2 as soon as it comes out. So let's discuss really quick. Long story short, the story starts off with Phoenix finding a letter from her mom letting her know, like, I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore. I miss your dad. I can't go on. There's this box that has things in it, protected with your life, basically. There are more things going on with your dad's death than we know, blah, blah, blah. And it turns out that Phoenix's mom has killed herself and she's dead in the bathtub. And Phoenix is the one that finds her body. So that being the first chapter was a doozy. That was a doozy, because I'm just like, oh, this is how we're starting. Okay. So it sets the tone for the whole fucking book, because as we progress, you find out Phoenix, the only family that Phoenix has left now is her aunt, who's a bitch, who's not a parental figure in the slightest. She's rich, living off of her dead husband's money. She's forcing Phoenix to see a therapist, which is not a bad idea. But we have Phoenix seeing a therapist, and like just a lot of the things that Phoenix is saying, you can tell that she's depressed and she's going through things. She's just processing it in her own way. But like it's too much for her. And her aunt is sending her to Darkwood Academy. Basically, you know, it seems like to get rid of her. We get introduced to the guys, Daxon, Mason, and Colton. Daxon seems to be like the main leader. He his dad apparently reaches out to him and tells him, like, he sends him a profile on Phoenix and he's like, hey, I want you guys to get rid of this girl. Get her out of the school. Basically, she's a threat to, like, our family and our business or whatever. And, of course, you know, Daxon's like, how? What the fuck? How? You know? And those are the same questions that Mason and Colton have. And Colton being, you know, like the tech-savvy guy, he does some research on it. But Daxon has seen her in person now, and he's like, holy fuck, she is sexy, she's gorgeous, I want to fuck. Like, from the first moment he done seen her, he's like, yeah, nah, she I want to hit that. And I'm like, well, obvious, but yeah, long story short, they devise a plan to make sure that one or all of them are in each of her classes. You know, it's just little things here and there. We get introduced to the 3 bitches. Fuck, what's her name? Wait, I can't remember that bitch's name. Wait, I think, is it Bianca? Wait, hold on. I'm trying to remember, which is crazy. Wait. No. It's shameful. I don't even want to This is so bad. This is so bad. This is so bad. Bianca, Tiffany, and Jacqueline. Ugh, bitches. Okay, let me tell you something. I wanted to fight all three of these bitches in real life, but anywho, we get introduced to the bitches, and it becomes very clear that Bianca should be with Daxon, Tiffany with Mason, Jacqueline with Colton, I believe. And then we are also introduced to Phoenix's roommate. Why am I forgetting everybody's fucking name right now? This is embarrassing. Liz? I feel like a dummy because I just read this. It's making me sad looking at this again. Shit. Yeah, Liz. Fuck me. Okay. I wish I hadn't just read that again. Her roommate Liz, who's actually, you know, really nice or whatever. But, you know, she tells her, you know, the kings basically rule the school. And then there are the queen. She's like, technically they're not dating, but, you know, it kind of seems like they're meant to, you know, yada, 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 whatever. The guys just plan on, you know, getting on her nerves, getting her kicked out quickly so they can just be done with it. But when Colton does his research, he finds out that Daxon's mom, who walked out on him, actually died in the car in the same accident as Phoenix's dad. And it was reported that that accident was a suicide. So finding this out, Daxon is like heated, he's pissed, he's livid. He said, oh, her dad killed my mom. Well, yep, I'm gonna get my revenge. We're gonna make her life a living hell. She's gonna pay for her father's sins. So, you know, they sick the entire school on her. The school is just relentless with the bullying. Like, I've read a lot of bullying romances, and baby, let me tell you, the bullying in here, the humiliation in here, that shit was a lot. Like, Phoenix is a strong bitch because I would have killed people. I would have killed people. Like, the bullying was, it was a lot. And you know how in a lot of like bully romances, like, especially if it's like a white choose, but like in a lot of the bully romances, you know that the girl and the guy are gonna end up together despite everything the guy has done to the girl. And you could be reading it and you could be calling the main character a dummy and be like, how could you, you know, move past what they did? How could you be okay with that and all that other shit? And this book is one of the few that actually made sense to me, because it's like, granted, the guys sicked the whole school on her. They made her cry. They did so much fucking shit to her. But they also ended up protecting her and making sure she was okay. And once they did that complete 180, like, they were making promises to her, like, we're not going anywhere. We're here for you. We're not leaving. We got you. We'll protect you, yada, yada, yada. And of course, any sane person would be like, oh, absolutely not. They've been fucking assholes this entire time. But, like, she latches on to that. And it makes sense because it's like, she has no family. Liz is her only friend. She's craving that attachment, that affection that no one is giving her. And then you have these three guys that are like, we're here for you. You know, they're holding her. They're consoling her. They're taking care of her. So while she still has these doubts about them in her head, she's still latching on to them. She's still, you know, getting attached. And it actually makes sense because they're basically all she has, you know? So that was one of the things I can say, like, that actually made sense. And I was okay with it. Okay. So let's talk about the stalker. Because that's still a mystery that's up in the air. So we're introduced to this character, Chad. He's on the football team with Mason and Dax. And when we first meet him, he seems very, very charming. He shows up and, you know, he introduces himself to Phoenix. And then when she's responsible for cleaning out her locker that Bianca and them put all of that rotten garbage and shit in, he helps her clean it out, and he asks her to come to the party that's going to be at his house after the football game. And he offers to pick her up. She's like, sure, of course, whatever. Now, the guys, seeing them interacting, they're like, oh, what were you and Chad talking about? And she's like, none of your goddamn business. And they're like, yeah, no, it's our business. And they tell her to stay away from him. And she's like, not listening to you, whatever. So of course she goes to the party. She shows up with Chad. And the guys seem to only be there to look out for her. Because according to them, Chad is known for drugging and sexually assaulting girls, and the only reason why he hasn't been punished thoroughly is because of his rich ass, well-connected parents, obviously. So the guys are trying to keep their eye on her. He gets a drink for her. She pretends to take a sip from it, but she doesn't actually. She hands him her drink and says, I'm gonna go find the bathroom. On her way to the bathroom, she stops to get her own drink. But we find out later on that under Chad's request, Bianca slips up behind Phoenix and drugs her drink, which Phoenix drinks. The guys find her in the bathroom, like nearly passed out. They carry her out of the party, take her back to their little penthouse dorm suite or whatever. So she's in Daxon's room. She wakes up and finds out that they're all sitting in there, and they're basically trying to tell her not to read too much into it, but she's like, the fuck? She's like, y'all don't give a fuck about me. Why would you even fucking care? Like, she's mad suspicious, as she should be. But then there's she goes to her. No. So this is okay. I went all over the place. What happens? I want to say it's like the next day, or I can't remember what the span of time that happens. But she's in the lunchroom eating, and Chad comes up, and he's trying to figure out, what happened at the party, because the guys carried her out or whatever. And she just straight up asks him, she's like, did you drug me? And he was like, no. Did the guys tell you that? And she ends up saying something. She's like, whatever, I didn't think you did. She's like, I didn't actually drink the beer that you gave me anyways, so I didn't think it was you, blah, blah, blah. And there's this expression that goes on his face, and he just gets up and walks away from the table. And I'm like, that told us everything we need to know, girl. He did drink that drink. But anywho, she goes to class, and she finds this origami phoenix in her bag that has a note that has, I think it was this nickname that her mom and dad used to use for her. Little Bird or something like that. And, she freaks out. Because Mason, he takes it, he looks at it, and he's like, where'd this come from? She was like, it was in my bag. She's like, I don't know how I got there, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, he leaves. He tells the guys about it. And, you know, now they're suspicious because they're like, well, who's fucking with her? It's not us. And they were like, well, maybe it's Chad. So Mason actually goes to confront Chad about it. And Chad seems aloof. He seems in the dark about the note. Mason knocks his ass out for the drugging. I feel like he deserved a little bit more than that, but that's fine. So, you know, the guys, they're a little suspicious right now because they're like, what the fuck? What's really going on? Yada, yada, yada. Because something else happened to where she goes to her room. So this was the very first thing that was weird, but I didn't associate it with the stalker at first. I just assumed it was Daxon. And now I know that I'm wrong. But she came to her dorm room after classes one day and she saw that her bed was made, and she was like, I know for a fact I did not make my bed. And she was like, we don't have maid services, so I don't know who the fuck did this. But that wasn't the only issue. The issue was that a black lingerie set of hers was laid out on the bed. And she's like, okay, what the fuck is going on? She's like, someone's been in here, you know, yada, 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 what's going on? So she takes those, put those back in the dresser. She forgets about it. And the thing is, I forgot about it because, like I said, I thought that it was Daxon because at one point, this was like right before he does his 180, he sneaks into her room. And of course, she's thinking like, how did you even get in here? But like, that's the reason why I wasn't thinking about it, because I'm like, maybe it was just Daxon being an asshole. But since she actually has a stalker now, and it's not the guys, the stalker did that. And it's just, it's like, who else would be stalking her? And it's weird. And I don't want to say that the therapist, this is just me throwing out a theory, I don't know. But the therapist is a little, he's not sketchy. Like, he listens. He actually seems like he cares for Phoenix. But whenever she mentions, like when she's venting about the guys, I guess he gets like a little coy. He gets uncomfortable when she mentions them. And it's a little strange, especially because the week of the homecoming dance, he didn't show up for their appointment. And he never responded to her messages. And so, you know, she thought that was weird. But like, why would that happen? And I can't help but feel like it's related. But that would be weird. And I wouldn't see, so I don't know. Because like I said, Chad just seems like it's not. Well, see, I don't know. Okay, because we do have the thing where she was attacked in the locker room. Because the one time they get her to come to the football game, she's sitting with Liz and Colton. Colton goes to get her pretzel. And she goes to use the restroom. Liz told her that the bathrooms in the athletic building were the ones that she had to use. So she goes to use those bathrooms, but the bathrooms are locked. So she's like, well, let me just go use the bathrooms in the locker room. And that's unlocked. She goes in there. She uses the bathroom. The lights go out. She's attacked because she runs into a guy who says the word beautiful before, like, he basically chokes her out. She wakes up. Colton and Liz are there. They call the cops. The police take a report. They're basically looking at her crazy, although they can't account for the bruises that are on her neck. And then the last packet she ends up getting from the stalker is sitting on her bed, wrapped in a bow. She opens it, and there's a note that's telling her, like, oh, your boyfriends can't keep you safe forever. And this is after, you know, her and the guys start, you know, hanging out more, getting along and all this other shit. And then there's pictures of her with the guys. And there's pictures of her on the locker room floor after she was attacked. So the guys were thinking it was Chad. But they said Chad was with them on the football field. He was on the sideline, so it couldn't have been him that attacked her. But that's what makes me think it's like, I feel like the therapist has something to do with it. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. But we haven't been introduced to any other males that could really be responsible for that aside from our therapist and the principal. I think the therapist and the principal because I feel like we don't really have enough interactions with the teachers for me to be suspicious of the teachers. I don't know, y'all. I might have to flip through it one more time before the book comes out Tuesday, because I'm really putting money on the therapist, because why didn't he show up to the session? You know, it's just weird. Anywho, yeah, so she has the stalker shit going on, which doesn't help the situation. The guys are freaking eavesdropping on her therapy sessions, which I think is bullshit. And it's illegal. Invasion of privacy. And I think it's really fucked up, because it's like, so here's the thing. Daxon was hell-bent on making her suffer once he found out what happened between their parents, even though they don't all have the full story. But that's what they're believing. And the other two are just going to follow along with what Daxon wants, even though they're kind of like not fully on board. Daxon goes to meet with his dad to like try to get his dad to tell him like what really happened to his mom. At which point Daxon is kind of like feeling empathy and sympathy towards Phoenix, because he's like, maybe she doesn't know what the fuck was going on. You know, he had to remember, like, she lost a parent that day too, and now, you know, her mom killed herself. She's by herself. So he starts feeling some type of way. And right after that meeting is when he sneaks into her room, and they basically get each other off. But like, she asks him, she's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I don't know. He was like, oh, I was on my way to my dorm, but I ended up stopping in here, you know, blah blah blah. And that's kind of when you see that shift within him, because now he's seeking her out. He kisses her publicly in the school hallway. He's holding her hand all the way to the library. Like, it's you just see this complete 180, this change, and not just him but the other two. Even though Colton never really, like, he gave off the angry energy, but like, he really didn't do that much. Like, I honestly don't have any opinions about Colton just yet, only because I feel like I don't know him well enough. I feel like we didn't really get to know that much about him, aside from the fact that he's really tech savvy. I do love Mason. I love Mason because he's hilarious and he's such a big flirt. He was a jackass when it came to Phoenix's necklace, you know, because he was the one that stole it. It's something that reminds her of her mom. He stole it and then gave it back at like the most random opportune time. But no, I don't know. I love Mason. I'm kind of on the fence with Daxon. But like I hated all of them for eavesdropping in on the therapy sessions, because it's like once they came around to being cool with her, they didn't even tell her the whole thing. Like she's asking them like, why did you hate me? Like why were y'all bullying me, basically? And they're just like, we made wrong assumptions about you. You were new. You got in here during your senior year under suspicious circumstances, because they never allow seniors in here, you know, transfer or new seniors in here. So like they're telling her these lies, and I'm just like, why not just tell her the fucking truth? Like, it's weird. It's obviously that all y'all want each other, so it's like, why not just say something? But I guess they figured it would have broken her for them to tell that they've been, you know, listening in on her sessions, which is, I don't know. I feel like they should have said something. But that, yeah. Anywho, the guys, once they start being nice to Phoenix, you know, she calms down a little, because, you know, the bullying hasn't been that bad anymore. And that was my other thing. Once they decided to chill the fuck out on the bullying, I feel like they should have made that clear across the board to the entire school. And they didn't. And I feel like that's what has me pissed the fuck off at them. Like, not just that, but that's what has me pissed the fuck off at them, because the second y'all decided y'all weren't gonna like bother her like that anymore, you should have told everyone to back the fuck off. And I feel like they waited too late. But these fools. So at one point, Phoenix gets jumped in the bathroom by the three bitches. Mason finds her, takes her to her room, and while she's asleep, he goes into her closet to get her an extra blanket. He comes across the box that her mother told her to protect with her life. In there, there's a letter from her mom. There are emails between Phoenix's dad and Daxon's mom that makes it seem like they were having an affair, along with a shit ton of other stuff that Phoenix hasn't had the strength to go through yet. So she doesn't know everything that's in that box. And Mason, he doesn't get a chance to go through the whole thing because he has to leave. So he puts the box back, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to tell the guys about this. So you kind of, you know, that kind of slips out of your head with everything else that's been going on. But then the guys decide to ask Phoenix to homecoming. They're like, we want you to go with us. And she's like, are y'all fucking crazy? She's like, first of all, the entire school hates me. If I go with you, the girls are gonna try to kill me. She's like, and then the three bitches are definitely gonna try to kill me. And they're like, okay, well, maybe we just don't show up together, but, you know, you get there, you save all of your dances for us, blah, blah, blah. And to convince her of this, Mason gives her the necklace back, you know, all this other shit. But she starts freaking out because she's like, dude, what even are we? She's like basically, all three of y'all have slept with me. I've slept with all three of y'all. What are we even? Like, this isn't functional. This isn't normal. And Colton just looks up. He's like, you're ours and we're yours. That's all there is to it. And Mason's like, absolutely. Daxon's like, absolutely. And she's just like, okay. Like, that's weird, but okay, fine, I'll go with it. So they ask her to homecoming. And this should have been like a red fucking flag because there weren't that many pages left. But it should have given me Carrie vibes. And then they even allude to that fact because she's like, I'm expecting there to be blood, like, you know. And they're like, no, nobody's gonna do that, yada yada yada. So she agrees to go to the dance with them. She agrees to go to the dance with them. And before they even get there, no, let me back up. The guys are summoned to go meet with their fathers. And we don't know what transpired during this meeting. And that is what kills me. We don't know what transpired during this meeting. So the day of the dance, her and Liz are getting ready, and she's saying how, like, all week the guys have been, you know, really distant. She tries and asks them what's going on, and they're kind of closed off. They give her short answers, but she's like, I don't want to press because I don't want to seem like that girl. So, you know, she lets it go. They are heading out to the limo, and she stopped by Chad. And Chad basically alludes to the fact that he knows that she has slept with all three of them, and all three of them at the same time. And she's trying not to freak out, and he's just like, oh, I can't believe you fell for it. I was just trying to see if I was going to get my turn, yada, 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 asshole. Liz pulls her away, and they get to the dance, and she's just trying to calm herself. And they get to the dance, and you know, they're just walking around. She's waiting for the guys to show up, only to start overhearing everyone that's like, oh, look at the guys, they look so hot. Yeah, look at the queens on their arms. And she's like, wait, what? So just for her to turn around and see the three bitches hanging off all three guys. Bianca's hanging off Daxon. Jacqueline is hanging off Colton. Tiffany's hanging off Mason. And they walk up to her. And she's just looking at them like, what the fuck is going on? And the guys say nothing. They're not even giving anything away in their expressions. They say nothing. And Bianca's basically like, oh, like, you know, it's so sweet that you thought, you know, that they actually wanted you. She was like, this was how it was going to be from the beginning. We let them have their time, but now that's done. Yada, yada, yada. Bitch places her hand on his chest. Big ass ring on her finger. All three bitches got rings on their finger. And Phoenix is like, dude, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? She runs to the bathroom. She cries. Liz is like, hey, I don't blame you if you want to leave. We can go right now. We can go eat ice cream and watch movies in our dresses. Let's go. And she's like, no, they're not going to chase me away. Let's stay. We're going to have a great time. Only for her to step out. And a spotlight hits her. And let me tell you something. The last 2 chapters was some of the most heart-wrenching, the most raw, like the most devastating things I've had to read a character go through. My heart broke, it shattered, it bled. I cried. And I don't mean like I cried. I was sobbing, okay? Reading the last 2 chapters. Spotlight hits her. Bianca's on stage. Bianca tells everyone, yeah, so about Phoenix. Not only did her dad kill himself, but he killed himself with Daxon's mom in the car because they were having an affair. Not only that, but her mom killed herself recently as well. In fact, here's a picture of the crime scene. That pops up. And at this point, Phoenix is like a hot mess, sobbing on the ground, pleading for Bianca to stop. She's looking over to where all of the teachers and the chaperones are. All of them have their fucking backs turned. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me that you are even allowing this right now. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Like, I'm sobbing right there along with Phoenix because I can't imagine how, like, Bianca doesn't stop there. She throws up a birth certificate and says, hey, your dad wasn't even actually your real dad. He was intending to adopt you, but they never finished the process. It was a lot. It was a lot. And when Phoenix finally gets the strength to get up, she runs out of there. She gets a cab back to the school. And you can tell that when she steps foot out of the cab back at the school, you're just like, she's broken. Like, she's too far gone. Like, there's basically no way she's gonna come back from this. And you can tell that, you know, like, she walks up to her room and you can already guess what's gonna happen when she sits and she writes the note, you win, and sets it on top of her journal on top of the desk. You already know what's gonna happen. And I cried reading through all that. I'm gonna cry right now. I cried reading through all of that because that was just, Phoenix, that was all she wrote. She destroys the room. She destroys her closet. She breaks her mirror using a shard of the mirror to destroy the bedding and the bed. She notices the blood on her hands to where she starts, you know, just laughing, shaking her head. She walks into the bathroom. She turns on the shower. She gets into the shower, still in her dress, to where she slits her wrist. And she's talking to her mom out loud. Just, you know, about everything. About how her and her dad, about how her mom and her dad left her there to just fend for herself, how all of their actions and decisions put her in this position, how they left her here to deal with all of this shit. Everything that she's gone through is basically because of them. She feels that it was inevitable for her to end up in the position that she's in now with her slitting her wrist. Like, she's welcoming death, basically. And it ends with her lying on that floor, going unconscious, bleeding in the shower, just dying. And, like, deadass, this is why I don't read book series that are not finished. But for some reason, my dumb ass decided to do that anyways. So I feel like, I don't even remember when I first read this book. It was months ago. The pain. But it's like, knowing that it's a wide choose and the story's unfinished and it's 2 more books, like, you know that she's gonna live. But I'm anxious to find out how the guys are gonna make up for this. I'm very fucking anxious to find out how the guys are gonna make up for this because it's just too fucking much. Like, the guys weren't, it didn't seem like they were present when Bianca was doing that whole presentation either, because Phoenix looked around for them and she didn't see them. And I would really like to know where they were when that was happening. I want to know who's going to find her. Because what pissed me off too, because Phoenix mentioned this, she was like, when Bianca was laying all this shit bare, she looked over at Liz And Liz just backed away from her into the crowd. And it's like, that's your roommate. She's supposed to be your friend. You're supposed to be cool. And she just left you sitting there while all this shit was going on. She didn't try to get you out of there. She didn't try to stop Bianca either. She just let it all happen and backed away from it while you were looking for anybody to help. So honestly, it's fuck Liz. I really do want to know who's going to find her. I want to know if it's going to be Liz or if it's going to be one of the guys. And especially because I need, like, I followed the author on Instagram. And there was this teaser that she posted. And it was something like, oh, he kissed me and this kiss was different from the one in the hospital. Bitch, who are you kissing? Because when does this kiss happen? If you're saying this kiss is different from the one in the hospital, who the fuck were you kissing in the hospital? Because you shouldn't have been kissing none of these niggas in the hospital, because none of them deserve any kisses from you after what happened. Like, absolutely the fuck not. No, you shouldn't be kissing anybody. So I want to know. I need, it's so much going on, and I'm so ready for book 2. But let me tell you, like, Phoenix, I love her to death. I love her like a little sister. Like, all I want for her is to be stronger, to come out of this better. And, like, granted, if this was real life, I'd say kill them niggas and move on, forget they exist. But we all know that's not going to happen. So I really hope that the guys do some top tier groveling, because I really don't see how anything they could do would make up for what has happened. I don't see it happening. And everybody in that school deserves nothing short of death, because how you bully somebody like that? Like, Bianca deserves torture for doing everything that she did. Some bullshit. But this book was so good. It broke me, but it was worth it. So I'm very, very fucking excited for book 2. And then book 3 doesn't even come out until, let me see. Book 3 doesn't come out until September 5th of next year. I already know this. I have little patience when it comes to books. I already know I'm not gonna make it. I'll probably end up rereading book 1 2 more times, and then rereading book 2 like 3 times before the 3rd book comes out. I don't know, man. But like I said, I feel some type of way towards the therapist. Her aunt is MIA. We don't know what the fuck is going on with her. The stalker, it's just a lot of shit going on. And then the guys' dads wanting Phoenix gone, and then forcing them to get engaged to all these bitches, even though they're just seniors in high school. Like, it's messy. I got beef with everybody. I want to fight everybody. I want to fight Chad. I want to fight Bianca. Anywho, go read it. It's called From the Ashes. It's the Darkwood Academy series by Lynn Rhys. Go read it. Like I said, book 2 is coming out on the 20th. Check it out. So good. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'm going to try to do some more book reviews, because I've been reading like a crazy person. I'm almost at 200 straight days of reading. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye.